Hey Truth Seekers, welcome back, Zach here. In this video, I want to review several videos I have put together, several blog posts, assemble them into one presentation, and show how the mainstream media actively hoaxes its audience as part of an ongoing agenda, part of a military psychological operations, which we'll get to. In this video, we'll talk about some major terrorist stunts within the nation's history, as well as a number of recent reported shootings. So let's begin with this. In the Army Field Manual, Rule 33-1 is the psychological operations, which is any form of communication in support of objectives designed to influence the opinions, emotions, attitudes, or behavior of any group in order to benefit the sponsor, either directly or indirectly. To begin, I want to start in the UK, where they had a Dunblane school massacre. This massacre resulted in citizens of the UK having to forfeit handguns. They can still have hunting rifles there, but they no longer have handguns as a result of this incident. So the school this occurred at has a gematria of 73. If you're new here, I talk about the practice of coding numbers into words, how the media actively uses this, how if you learn this language, you can see through the hoaxes in record time. So the school has a gematria of 73, like the word sacrifice. This story has a lot to do with sacrifice on two fronts, that of school children and also that of people having to give up their liberties of owning handguns. This shooting happened on March 13th, the 73rd day of the year. The shooter was 43 years old. The word massacre has a gematria of 43. They said 16 died and 32 were injured. When you write out 16, only it and the number 90 have a gematria of 33, which is a number actively coded into these hoaxes, the number of the psychological operations. This psychological operations is greater than the United States or UK. This goes on worldwide. This is a Masonic Zionist conspiracy, which are international organizations. 16, the big way, simple English gematria, also sums to 96. This shooting happened in the year 96. The word Freemason equals 96. With regards to 32 injured, UK has a gematria of 32, as does America, the small way. 7-4-1776 has a numerology of 32. 9 years before that, in the UK, there was the Hungerford Massacre, which resulted in the 88 Firearms Amendment Act. Check this out. Hungerford Massacre has gematria of 87, like the year it happened in. The date has a numerology of 133. The Dunblane shooting was March 13th, which can be written 13/3, just like the numerology of the date of the event 9 years earlier. The shooter's name was Michael Robert Ryan. Notice the gematria of 33, 33, 22. The name sums to 88, like the 88 Firearms Amendment Act. In this massacre, there were 16 dead as well, just like Dunblane, this number with the Masonic connections. In the United States, there have been many gun shootings. The biggest one ever in the mainstream media at the time was the Columbine School Massacre. I was in high school myself. In our schools, we were directed to our homerooms to watch this TV coverage in the daytime. They wanted us to know about this while we were in school. The next week, we had a new student policy. We had to wear name badges. So these hoaxes, they have major impacts on us. They are part of an ongoing psychological operations conditioning. Anyhow, the date it happened, April 20th, 99, a date with 123 numerology, matching the gematria of the word conspiracy. As you can see in the picture, the shooter is face up with a black shirt. The red words read wrath. Wrath has a Jewish gematria of 420. The other shooter, the back of his shirt says natural selection. Notice how natural selection and wrath have this synchronicity in gematria at the bottom of the screen. Jewish gematria 1089, simple English natural selection 189. Zero doesn't count in numerology. They're both a lot like 189. And check this out. In Jewish gematria, hoax equals Columbine equals let's get high. Remember, this happened on 420, which is police code for marijuana infraction. It is celebrated as a marijuana stoner holiday, April 20th. All of this lines up in Jewish gematria. Hoax, let's get high, Columbine, arrogant, and also eugenics, which fits right in with that natural selection, which might very well have been coded in. And perhaps the joke is that, if you're not superior enough, you're not going to catch on to these hoaxes and how you're getting duped and played by your government that exploits and abuses you every day. Now, there was also some 9/11 predictive programming in this. The one shooter, Eric Harris, was born April 9th, 1981. Look at how his name sums to 94. Eric David Harris. And then he's born on the 9th day of the 4th month, which can be written 9/4. This number is also important in 9/11, which we'll get to. His birthday is a date with 113 numerology, as shown on the screen. The words mainstream, dishonest, green screen equal 113, often coded into hoaxes. He's born on the 99th day of the year. 9 times 11 is 99. He's born 155 days before September 11th, which is the birthday of the other shooter. Also, with the 49 connections and the 9/11 foreshadowing, which we'll get to, Twin Towers equaled 49, approved by the 49th Governor Nelson Rockefeller. The other shooter, Dylan Klebold, had name gematria of 67 like Freemasonry, born on September 11th, born on a date with 101 numerology like the word assassin. He assassinated his classmates, supposedly. The attack lasted 49 minutes from 11:19 to 12:08. It's all part of a sick joke, Truth Seeker. Look at this. From the reporting on the story, Littleton, Colorado, one of two teenage gunmen who killed 12 other students and a teacher before killing themselves in a 1990 attack on Columbine High School described their plan in detail in his journals and said if they could not get out of the country after the attack, they would hijack a plane and crash it into New York City. This comes from the men with these birthdays connected to September 11th. The next major shooting hoax in the United States came years later, 2007, at Virginia Tech, where it was reported 33 people were killed, including the shooter. The date of the shooting had a numerology of 47, which is an incredibly important number to the Zionists and Masons who control the mainstream media and who wage these hoaxes by the numbers. This attack lasted 156 minutes, from 7:15 to 9:51, the first killing to the last. If you write out the word 33 and sum it in gematria, it sums to 156. This is the God number in English gematria. Very important number. The point is, though, 33 dead in 156 minutes, and these numbers are connected through gematria, which is coded into all of these hoaxes. The shooter's name has gematria of 58, like the word Freemasonry. Should also be known that Freemason equals 42, the small way. VT for Virginia Tech equals 42. A shooting made for TV, the reflection of VT. Of course, VT is just outside the federal government headquarters. After Virginia Tech, the next major shooting hoax story was that of Sandy Hook in Newtown, Connecticut. They said 26 children were killed in Newtown. Look at the gematria of Newtown on the screen, how it breaks down to 5, 5, 5, 2, 6, 5, 5. All fives and a 26 in the middle. Newtown sums to 33. It's across the street from the nation's second biggest gun lobby behind the NRA. NRA has the gematria of 33. So does police. Because of these hoaxes, some of the biggest beneficiaries are the NRA, who do well from more gun sales, more ammunition, which they feed off of, which happens after all of these gun sales. There's a major boost in sales for bullets and guns. People think that they're going to come for the guns any moment, so they better go buy more now, every time. Also, the police are becoming more and more militarized because of these scare stories. Police and NRA share that gematria of 33. These are Masonic organizations. Also, there's a form of gematria, Truth Seeker, where you drop the vowels, so the name Lanza becomes LNZ. L's the 12th letter, N's the 14th. The shooting was December 14th, 12 plus 14 also equals 26, like the number of victims. And then Z is the 26th letter for the number of victims. Adam Lanza, clearly a patsy. Remember, when the story broke, they used his brother's name. Many people think that only the brother is a real person, and Adam Lanza is a made-up identity for the hoax. Probably true. The first parent to go before the TV and ask for sympathy and money after the shooting was Robbie Parker. Just before he went on TV, he was caught smiling and laughing. Then he got up in front of the camera and got choked up and told about the death of his daughter. Notice the gematria of Robbie and Parker, both 33, like Newtown, like the number of the psychological operations, like the number of the hoax. There's been many shootings since reported in the media. On my video channel, I have almost all of them. This is an abbreviated presentation. I just want to show you things like this. They reported that the shooting in Oregon was the 74th shooting since Sandy Hook. And the reason that was comical, knowing gematria, is because Oregon is the only state that sums to 74. Oregon is also the 33rd state. Just recently, there was another shooting in Oregon, Roseburg, Oregon. They said this was the 142nd shooting since Sandy Hook. The word Northwest equals 142. Oregon's in the Pacific Northwest. Also, the word terrorist equals 142. This is reporting by the numbers. Roseburg, Oregon is also full of it. The police spokesperson for the shooting was getting negative press because in the past he had told people to look into Sandy Hook and have a skeptical eye. Suspicious remarks from a police officer. Anyhow, look at this. Masonry and Zionism equal 105. Roseburg equals 105. And John Hanlon, the police spokesperson in Roseburg, equals 105. April 15th, tax day, is when the Zionists bend us over and steal our money every year. All part of the sick numerical joke. So, there was the Waco biker shooting. I just want to give some backstory on Waco. Waco is where the Camp Davidian raid happened on April 19th. David Koresh, the leader, was killed at age 33 in the year 93. Again, the word propaganda equals 93. Waco has the gematria of 42 like Freemason. The Waco incident lasted 51 days like the word conspiracy, also like Freemason with the S exception. Timothy McVeigh years later would blow up the Oklahoma City building on the same date, saying it was a response to what happened at Waco. Years later, they would put him to death at age 33. Think about how Jesus was crucified at 33. There's a book called The Final Jihad. That book is written by the brother of the then governor of Oklahoma during the time of the Oklahoma City bombing. That book has a main character of Tom McVeigh, a lot like Tim McVeigh, who blows up the Oklahoma City building with the exact same thing, explosives in the back of a U-Haul truck. Read that book, Final Jihad. You can get it at your library. They are teasing us. They are hoaxing us. They are making fun of us.